1, 2, 3. Tag me in podcast.
Tag me in podcast. Back again with another episode. You're joined by myself, Ola.
And also Anton.
Come on.
Yeah.
What's wrong, man? What's up, man? What's with the screwface, bro?
Just living in the screwface capital.
Yeah, come on.
Game reference.
Great album. So today's episode is, it's titled "Why the Screwface?" Screwface.
Or Rest in Bitch Face.
Rest in Bitch Face. Why the Screwface? And the kind of conversation came off the back of me returning from traveling. So I went to Bali, went to Japan, and even sort of prior to that, and I know you've done lots of traveling yourself. So even when I was in Thailand as well, when I came back to the UK, I instantly noticed a stark difference in, I don't want to say specific, but more generic behaviour of pedestrians, people in these different countries and towns. And in the UK, there seems to be, and again, I'm just talking from my experience, there seems to be this kind of like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like people seem a lot more closed off. Now, I think I've had this discussion a few times when some people say, well, you know, you're a tourist in all these different countries. But the thing is, I've experienced it even in like Nigeria and other places as well, where I'd call home. And I've watched a lot of social experiments where people go on trains or public transports or just in public and will film themselves asking simple questions, basic requests, or just trying to start conversations. And it's weird in the UK, especially London, so maybe it's a London thing, there's this kind of attitude of, so like this guy went on the train and he was just talking to people. He's like, I'm just going to go and say hello to people. I'm just going to be polite. I don't want anything. I don't want any change. I'm not begging. I'm just going to say hello. And it was weird because conversation and contact is a basic human instinct for us as human beings. And then this guy was just talking to people, and then probably about 95% of the reactions in London were literally just,
why are you talking to me?
he was literally like, who the hell are you? Like, it was like a screw face, or they looked at him as if he was crazy. Now, possibly his gender had a role to do with it. There could have been a lot of factors in there, but it's something that I've kind of observed, again, being out in Bali, being out in Japan and all these other countries, people are a lot more sort of friendly. And again, I wouldn't say it was from a tourist point of view, because I wasn't sort of necessarily out buying stuff. It could have been me just...
Come here, my friend. Yeah. Smile.
Yeah, it wasn't me necessarily buying. It was me just going about my day, and people are a lot more friendly and welcoming and will smile and say hello and start kind of conversations. And I'm not sure if it's a cultural thing. I feel like back in the day, there must have been one person who had a really bad day. He's just gone around like screwing everyone, and everyone's like, oh, okay, is that the, okay, let's do it then. And the thing is, a lot of human behaviour and human actions are from repetition. So we do what we see. If you're born in Spain, you're going to speak Spanish, more likely to. It's just the kind of way it is. And it's the same with behaviours at home, within the family and in society. And I think the United Kingdom, generally speaking, is just one of these, because it is an island at the end of the day. It's one of these places where people just seem pissed. And obviously, it's not fair to make such a cold judgment based off of someone's facial expression. Because again, some people do have rest in bitch face or angry person face. So what do you say? It's not.
It's not opening at all, is it?
It's not. And it's tough because you see someone, you might want to start a conversation or whatever it is, and it's just... And I get people have rest in bitch face, but everyone? Like, I don't know what your experience is with it. Have you sort of experienced it? Do you have that resting angry guy face? Because I get told, because I'm at work, I'm just hammering down, I'm listening to music, I'm listening to Tag Me In podcast.
So yeah,
Plug, literally, plug one plug, Tag Me In podcast or whatever I'm listening to, and then someone come past, what's wrong, are you alright? Huh? I'm like, it's payday, what are you talking about? The sun is out.
But you're not smiling.
That's the thing, but it's like that natural state. And sometimes you have to have that external observation of people telling you, hey, your face seems like you're screwing, or you seem pissed, or you seem angry, and you're just like,
my face is just relax.
I'm cool. Like, what are you saying about my face? Like, I'm absolutely fine. And it's interesting to hear the kind of outside perspective of how you're perceived based on your facial expressions. And it's interesting because a lot of what we derive and make judgment on is those facial expressions, it's body language.
You cool, you're right.
Yeah.
You don't seem too happy. Yeah.
And it's based on body language. I don't know what your experience has been with that. Is it something that you notice and observe? Do you not care? You see someone screen, you're like, I want to chat to you anyway, so I'm going to go through. Do you think it is a UK-wide thing? Obviously, you've done extensive travelling, so you've been to all these different countries. Has it been something that you've observed? You've done a bit of slow travelling, so...
I think sometimes it's an environmental thing in the sense of you'll see a lot of screw faces on that morning commute into work.
That central line.
That Victoria line, Piccadilly line, that Jubilee line that's got a delay, the one that happened on Canada Water, you know, a few weeks back, like everyone was pissed, upset. And that kind of triggers people just to be like, oh, here we go again. So I see it more when it's morning time, that resting bitch phase, that angry man phase, that life kind of sucks phase.
Yeah.
I see it after work. Generally, I don't see people just smile to themselves, which sounds totally weird and random. And I guess that's the issue, that we've somehow created this narrative with a random person saying hello to you. Whoa, what you doing? A random person just smiling. You're thinking, my man's crazy. Like, what's he thinking?
Yeah.
You know, you're sitting on that train and he's smiling. His head's bopping with the train motion.
I'm like that
and
sometimes.
he looks up and he looks at you and he's smiling. And you're like, what do you want?
Yeah.
And I think that kind of ties into the issue. I guess whilst travelling, I saw a lot of joy from people who didn't have much. So the most basics of things. Everything was kind of, you get a service with a smile.
Yeah. Yes. Always.
You got this language barrier, but they'll be like,
Yep, still happy, still
cool.
smiling.
You go into some shops today and you buy something and the cashier is pissed. And they're making it your problem. And they're making their energy kind of translate onto you, and you're not set up for that. I'm talking from a personal place where I'm having a great day and I go into, let's say, Tesco's. Next, please. They're not even saying that.
Yeah.
Next, please.
Yeah.
You cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude.
How's your day?
Next customer, please. Yeah. Wow.
You know, it's mad because even, and sorry to cut you that, because it's something that, having been in other cities and towns, it just doesn't seem as extreme as in London. And I think that's sort of where...
But I think it feels more extreme because London's a busy capital.
But still, like, what's...
And then your mindset is completely different. You're on holiday mode a lot of the times when you're out there. You're like... You're probably radiating a good kind of energy within you. Like,
but we've done that here in London. Like, when we go shops...
When you go work
like, hey.
on a Monday and you didn't get the best night's sleep and you're on that train and then you hear, oh, there's delays on the... You're not like, great, smile. You're putting that and everyone else around you is going to be pretty much the same. I, like you saying, like when we go into shops, I've consciously made like an effort in my head that, I've probably mentioned it before, I feel like there's a light in everyone and it's kind of, you know, if you can shine that light on top of people to make them feel better, then you're doing better for the world because hopefully that light will then bounce out to other people. So they smile, they'll smile to someone else and it just kind of amplifies in that sort of way.
Yeah.
So I will walk into a store and I'm like, hey. But I'm also cheeky with some of the things that I asked for. So there was one time I went to a food market in South Bank and I got ribs and I asked the guy, I said it with a smile. I was like, thanks. Can I get another rib, please? He's like, enjoyed that. I was like, yeah, I think I would if there was a few more ribs on top. And I'm saying it with a smile and he's like, you know what? I can't deny that. So I always
That's
feel
that
that
energy. That's that energy.
That feel good energy. So the other day I was walking back from Canary Wharf and I was just walking and there was this woman and she was about, I'm going to say 50. And she just seems like happy in herself. Sun was shining, she was walking. And I gave her a smile. I had my headphones on, I couldn't hear anything. Gave her a smile. And then she stopped. And she says that, and you know when you got headphones on, you just see
like
mouth moving.
Yeah.
I was like, sorry, took my headpiece off. She's like, you got a real nice smile, have a lovely day. I was like, you too, bye. And I'm bouncing down the road, and she's bouncing down the road. So I think there's a number of factors. I think it's the environment that we grew up in, because that is just naturally what it is. Especially like mandem sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like, you smile at a man from ends, then it's not really going to be like, wagwan. It's going to be like,
what are you saying? What? Yeah. E17, yeah, road true. But it's mad because I was in the park, so went for a walk, sunny day after work, went for a walk in the park, sat on a bench, I'm doing my thing. I'm like, cool. I'm leaving now. This brother was jogging with another guy. He's jogging, he like slows down, he's like, what did he say? He's like, how you doing, brother? Or something like, have a good day, bro. Like, I hope you're doing well. And I was just like...
Because you can see the energy I was
like, yes, I am. I'm like, you too, man. And it kind of like, I was like, yes. And for me, it was like, I love the fact that we as black men are at a point, not all of us, but at a point where we can show and express love to one another.
But it's the reading of someone's face.
But I'm walking...
Because if he was there screwed...
Yeah, obviously not, but remember, he's coming from behind me, so he hasn't seen facial expression.
Oh, sorry.
And he's kind of like said it. So I'm just like, for me, it was more his energy as opposed to him feeling. I was like, I like that. And then kind of as I went off, for me, it was like you said, spreading that light. And sort of when I'm on the train, I make an effort to like sit down and look around and smile at people and just be cool. Not like, obviously not in like a creepy way, but just like a little nod or a little smile. Get on with my business. It's just interesting how people will see someone else doing something, then just pick it up, not know why they're doing it, but just do it. Because I bet if I went to half the people who have screw faces,
they don't even
let's say they are genuine screw faces. What's wrong? Why are you screwing? Everyone else is, but why? I don't even think there's. Because do you honestly believe that everyone is having that bad a time, or everyone has got natural bitch face? I don't think so.
I think natural resting bitch face, guy face, whatever you
I don't think it's that common.
Mitch face, male version of a bitch. A bastard face. Because I know I've got a resting whatever face you want to call it, which is I'm kind of done, and it's not the most cheerful smiley face.
But is that your resting face, or is that I'm done face? Because that sounds like two different faces.
Because
you know what I mean, like you're neutral, like.
Yeah, but some people just have, and unfortunately, their facial structure is in a particular way.
No, you're
that looks like.
Man, it's facial structure. No, because Ada's got a joke like that. He's like, some people their facial structure, and he goes quiet. It's like they're finished. I'm like, bro,
because it's just the truth though. Like, sometimes your resting face is your natural face, and you can't help it. And you're not trying to be putting out a bad energy, but your face just is red in a way that is like. Well, go on for you. Why are you so angry? What happened? What? Because I looked at you. Some people, there's been moments where I've looked at someone and they gave me a resting bitch face, but they don't mean it. So I'm like, whoa. They're like, oh, sorry, I didn't mean.
Yes, it's interesting you mentioned that. I did this sort of, it was a QA communication training recently at work, and the lady spoke about how we as humans, we're still fairly early on in terms of our evolution and development, and how a lot of the judgments we make or perceptions we get from other people are mainly, obviously body language, but also mainly on their facial expressions. And she said that's quite primitive of us because you can't really tell, for most people, especially if you don't know them, by just looking at their faces, what they're thinking, how they're feeling. And what that basically means is that a lot of the times we're getting false interpretations and readings from someone's face. And she's like, we've got a long way to go to be able to really sense how someone's feeling in whatever way that's going to come, whatever form, we don't know. But what kind of happens is we look at someone's face and it's kind of like, oh, like I remember back in the day, I was a lot younger, I'd see a lady, I'm like, oh, she seems cool, blah, 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 whatever. But then I'd look at the facial expression, it would say something else. I'm like,
don't talk to me, leave me alone.
Yeah, but then maybe like a second or a minute, two or whatever later, it's like this massive smile or this sort of thing, and because of that snap judgment based on that facial expression, I or someone else would have gotten a completely different reading.
Yeah.
And it's just, I think it's one of those things where it's important to understand what is happening and why it's happening. It is tough because you can't go up to someone and say, hey, don't do that face. Like, this is my face. Like, who, because again, like I said, I've got that face myself, and it's tough to be able to kind of just get through that layer. You know, again, it could be evolutionary. It could be a natural self-defense of do not approach. You know that, what's that fish in the sea that's got the puffer fish that can puff up? Natural defense. Maybe your natural it could just be a natural defense from a lot of our
some people have it as like, just leave me alone.
Yeah.
They have that, just leave me alone.
Just not in the mood, not today.
I don't like people. I don't want to talk. You get people like that because one reason I feel that people walk around with their faces in a kind of like sad, not sad. Is it sad? What's the face that you see? Just, I feel like a lot of times the screw face. Let's go straight. It's because they're just so deep in their own brain, like calculating what they need to do, and they're not enjoying where they are at the moment. Because when you're happy, you can't hide that smile.
Yeah, 100%.
You be la. You just got a phone call. Your boss is like, "Don't come in for 2 weeks. It's all paid for." And when you come back,
pay rise,
bonus, quadruple, and we're gonna pay it in advance.
Amen.
You could be smiling.
Come on.
You're not gonna be screw face. Your face is gonna change. And I remember from a few episodes back, you told, I think on the podcast, you said there's more. It's the Did You Know episode.
Okay, yeah.
It takes more effort to frown than to smile.
More muscles to like frown and screw face than like have that smile.
So I actively just try and just smile. And even in the sense of when I'm detecting that someone's pissed, especially in a work environment. So if I buy something from a shop and I could tell that the cashier is having a pissed off day or just fed up. So the other day I was in Waterloo and I said to my friend, I was like, this guy, he looks like he's fed up. He's probably fed up.
On the cash machine.
We're all fed up a lot of times when we're in work. It's like, we just had lunch, you got the lunchtime dip, you're like, what time is it?
Boy.
You still got like another 4.5 hours to go, you're like, come on. So I saw him, and you know, in Starbucks, they write down your name on the cup.
Yeah.
And I must have made some silly joke. He took down my friend's name. I was like, oh man, how can I help you? What's your name? He's like, ah. But like the smile came on his face. But then the difficulty with that is it's very hard to determine whether it's because you get fake smiles as well. You know the quick, you see someone, hi, yeah, the quick one.
Fam, I can't stand those.
Yeah.
I cannot stand those. Those are the work ones. You're right, Jack.
Yeah.
Or when you just walk past, you don't.
Eyes closed as well.
Oh God.
Because you get that as well. Because then people thinking, oh, I know this person. I can't just walk around with my screw face. I must smile. It was a quick smile. But you know it's not. It's genuine because they're trying to smile, but it's not a real smile.
Yeah. It's that kind of like halfway point of I'll give something, but it's not genuine, so I'll give you that.
Because apparently it's very hard to tell the difference between a fake smile and a real smile. If you put two photos side by side and you don't know this person, and said, okay, well, tell me which one's a fake smile.
Yeah. If they're a stranger, 100%.
Apparently it's in the eyes.
Really, probably like the creases.
The creases in the eyes.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah. But this
do you think you could tell with like close friends and family?
No.
For real?
For real. Even that laugh right there, is that real or fake? That's the thing.
No, it was real.
So this whole screw face thing, I didn't really experience it too much when travelling, because I kind of experienced a lot of joy and happiness. But then I was also in a place of joy and happiness.
But I'm saying based on observations or basis, kind of walking around, you know, if you could do...
I felt like they were screaming at each other.
Screaming?
Yeah.
Okay, like the language, yeah.
And you're like, is that angry? And you can't determine, because it's a foreign language, you can't determine as angry or...
I hear that a lot with African languages as well. People are like, are they angry? Are they shouting? I'm like, no, he's just asking him what's for dinner. She asked him
I love you, baby.
Yeah, he told him how much they're in love with each other. Like, you know, what are you talking about?
Yeah, so...
I think that kind of brings it to the point of perception then, because, you know, what we perceive as screaming and shouting, they perceive as everyday conversation. And it kind of relates to, I guess, to screwface in a sense where we might see someone and think this person's having a terrible day, but they're just deep in thought. They're just probably thinking about what am I having for dinner?
Literally.
What time do I get home? You know, it could be a number of different things. And again, it's difficult to make that judgment call because you can't read someone's thoughts unless they've expressed it to you or you are an expert at body language or whatever. And even if you are, you don't know exactly what is on that person's mind. And I guess taking that person's facial expression, screwface, smile, or whatever it is to make a judgment on how they feel is obviously, I think it's hit and miss. Sometimes it is pretty obvious how someone's feeling based on, you know, their facial expressions and what they're doing with their body, their mannerisms, body language, that sort of thing. I think it's just important to understand. I think it's just understanding and being aware. So again, for me, like now, I try not to make that judgment call based on someone's face. Because again, I've seen people like, and I'm like, you're right. Then all of a sudden, it just lifts up. Like you said, they're just usually just deep in thought. Because apparently, I need to get these numbers down. But a lot of our time is spent with us just in our minds, just literally thinking about scenarios that more often than not are never going to happen. But a lot of the time, we're just in our heads thinking about various different things going on in our lives, thinking about the future, how we could have dealt with things in the past a little differently. And so you're just in a completely different zone. You're in your mind. You're in that place where you're just thinking, and
you're not aware of anything.
You're just not aware of that, of your immediate outside environment. You're not aware of who's sitting next to you. You're not aware of how you're coming across, because it's not important. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. And yeah, it's just something you see on trains. I don't know if you ever indulge yourself in like people watching.
Yeah.
Like that for me, that should be a sport or something.
But the problem with people watching is it's almost a reflection of yourself, because you're watching people and you're making judgments based on the way they're interacting. You're like, oh.
No, I mean in general. I mean like in general context. So do you ever just people watch?
Yeah. Yeah.
I do sometimes I do like scenarios. So let's say they're just talking.
Yeah.
They could be having the best conversation. I'll just come from there like, what? You cheating on me, Jack? You cheating on me? Yeah. Look, Shirley, it's over. I'm done with
Basically,
this.
she's just asking what coffee do you want?
Literally. Did you want a latte, love? And that sort of thing, it is enjoyable to do and just kind of see how people interact and bring that body language and bring those facial expressions and just see how people are, again, in the park or wherever it is. And the thing is, some people still, even if they're happy, I think will still have that screw face. Or some people just have I'm the happiest day of my life. Got married today. Did you? Yeah, I got married today. I'm just so happy. You know. And by the same time, I've met people who are like, I'm just so angry today. Like, she was 2 hours late. I'm so angry. Oh my word. I'm like, are you? Like, what did you have for breakfast? What did you have for breakfast? I want to have that. It is subjective. It is highly, highly subjective. We all view the world through our own eyes, our own lenses, and we interpret different scenarios in different ways. And everyone's just different. That's the thing.
I just say everyone's just got a sole responsibility of making sure they carry themselves in a certain manner. Because like the most simplest thing is smiling to yourself kind of creates this feel good factor. So when you do, a lot of people have that issue of constantly having a resting bitch face or screw face, and they do try and change it. So I understand there's people like that. But there's also people who are not even aware of it. And if they became aware that when you're so involved in your own little head, that you are forgetting everything else around you, and you are carrying this sense of energy. So you could even be in a room full of all your friends, and then you zone out, and then you got a face, and everyone's like, oh, what's up? You look nothing. But there is something. But if you became aware of that face, you could smile. No one's going to know. But you're like carrying yourself in such a good kind of energy that people bounce off it. But then you might kind of, that's a challenge point there, because then you're neglecting yourself.
Yeah, I was going to say, that come across as, yeah. It's tough though, isn't it? I think it's tough. I don't think there's anything wrong with expressing from your face, your body language, how you feel sometimes.
If you're pissed off,
I think, sometimes some people do it because they know that if people see me upset, they'll ask questions, and maybe they just don't want to ask questions or be asked questions in that time and moment, sort of thing. I think it kind of boils down to how we deal with things. Some people prefer to get things out immediately, whereas others prefer to kind of like have time to themselves, get in their mind and reflect. And then after, like, yeah, okay, cool, this is why I was that way. This is why I couldn't see you yesterday night because I was feeling X type of way. Would you ever go up to a stranger, you saw them screwing or damn near in tears, and kind of be like, you're going to be all right? or whatever it is, you'll be fine.
Yeah, if you're damn near tears, then hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not walking past. Why, are you just going to be like...
No, not at all. Not at all. I've if it's the sort of thing I'd like, step in. You alright? You good? You got this. Whatever it is, you got this. Even if it's something as simple as that, walk away. Like you said, you've done your bit. You've kind of given that little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. It might not be a lot, it might not be enough, but it's something. And I think it's all about sparking that light for people, because a lot of the time, some people just need to just hear everything's going to be okay. We all go through stuff. Everyone does. Sometimes you just want to hear, you got this, man, it's cool. Whatever it is, you'll be fine. Next week, you'll be laughing, sort of thing. And I think some of the strongest people sometimes need to hear that themselves, because there's this sort of case where a lot of people have that really strong friend who's always there for everyone, but then because everyone's accustomed to them being that strong friend, they never imagine that person being down. And when that person's down, they are down. And sometimes they want to hear it's going to be okay. But they might not want to show face to the people that they've been that strong, powerful friend to. And it's just important to just bear that in mind. They might just need that. You might need somebody. It's a song. You might need... I'm not even going to try to sing, boy. We'll insert lyrics. Insert the beat. That's a tune.
Yeah,
that's a tune right there.
Capital.
It's London. But the thing is...
It's probably everywhere.
I don't know.
It's probably everywhere.
When you say everywhere, do you mean everywhere? Like the UK?
Every country. Because we live
I'm
in
not
it,
convinced.
We see it. It's in our face.
But taking Japan for example. For a point, I thought, is that it? But that's just because I was unaware of Japanese culture, and that might play into it. So, kind of went there. I was like, this seems similar to London, city, capital, central, blah blah blah. Then I just think, I'm like, well, these people are just like quiet. They're more like they'll look, then they'll kind of look away when they see you looking. And so I did this essentially like go-karting on like the road tracks, on the road, main road. And then I asked the instructor, how does it work? How does the system work? Traffic, blah, blah, blah. So we discussed that. And then she sort of spoke about how Japanese people are notorious for being extremely shy. And I was like, really? She was like, yeah, it's just part of the culture. She was like, I'll tell you what, we'll test it. A lot of them just want you to make contact first. She was like, they're really polite, but they are extremely shy. And I was like, I'm not convinced. Like, people just being real quiet. She was like, I'll prove it to you. When we're driving, just wave at anyone. Wave at random people. And I did. And then all these people would just all of a sudden start smiling and waving back. And I was like, okay. I'm just there like, wow. So by just peeling back that layer, by just scratching the surface, I've uncovered like a completely different side.
What reaction do you reckon you'll get if you did that here?
I think it'll be mixed. I think the UK, for the most part, is a very mixed bag. Multicultural, multi-religious, multi-layered. Country and capital as well, towns and cities. I think there'd be a mix. I think you'd get your hey, but then you'd get your confused looks. You get people kind of pulling out cameras. I don't think there's one set kind of reaction overall. But if I could say, I think it will probably be along the lines of
screwface.
Not even screwface, but just like, oh, what's going on? Like, what's going on? Which isn't necessarily bad or good.
So is that a culture thing? Have we got a culture of...
I think it's environment. Because if it was America, I feel like it would be a lot more, oh my God.
So you don't think that there's a culture of, we stick to ourselves, and anything that sits outside of that is a bit weird?
Yeah, I think it's more...
Someone sitting on a train carriage and going, good morning, is foreign. So we don't know how to
in this place
react to it.
Apparently so. I think we're a lot more, again, generally speaking, a lot more reserved. Because we're
reserved to a point until Friday night, and we get on a drink. So,
I said Friday, Thursday now.
Wednesday, Friday now. Yeah, because Thursday's the new Friday.
But that's the thing, I think that's
and I don't want to be with you on Friday, so my weekend starts now. That's
the thing, that's like, obviously every different country has its culture. That seems to be central place. Like, it's where it's like when people have had a drink, Dutch courage, then that's when like that kind of side comes out. And it's just interesting to see that it has to come out when there has been that Dutch courage. culturally accepted.
Yeah.
That's the norm.
Not culturally accepted.
It is. That's the standard. That's Thursday, Friday night.
But not that bit. It's the, I'm just going to say hello to someone. Right, love?
Yeah.
Wait.
When they're yeah.
But consciously, Monday to Friday.
Because I've met people like that where
Different
in my own jobs, it's like Monday to Friday, you will not hear a word out of these people, Anton. Like, you will not hear a peep.
Do you reckon it's a perception thing as well then?
Perception how?
I have to be perceived as this image. I'm professional. I'm a civil. I am I'm a civil sort of individual in society. I'm not going to express any.
Yeah.
What's that behaviour that people say? When you do too much, the police come around and they give you a little order.
And you get an ASBO for it.
Yeah.
Disorderly conduct or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, hey, I don't want to do that.
Bit above and beyond. I think it plays into it. Then I think the drink is the excuse to be that more confident, outgoing, non-reserved person without any of the backlash, without any of that like standard judgment of that's not what we do. We're reserved. It's like nope. Look, that was the vodka. That was at 38% rum. It wasn't me, and I just find it weird.
I think it's just trying to break down those barriers. So naturally, if I see something, I'll give someone like a compliment. If I see something nice, and I could be passing on the train.
Yeah.
I'd be like, "It's a nice bag."
Yeah, I make an effort to do that in a very like calm way.
It's a good book.
Yeah, that's a great book. I've read it. We didn't. Yeah.
Man's not trying to chat you up. Just making a conversation.
100%.
We're humans.
100%.
Like,
let's connect. Let's be human. Let's do human things. Let's connect.
Yeah.
This is like the basis. This is a foundation stone of us as human beings. That connection, that communication.
Because you see the same people, likely, especially when you're doing the same commute at the same time for 4, 5, 6, 7 years. You see the same people over and over again, but you don't know anything. The only time you interact is, the train's late, get off.
Yeah.
But you never disrespect. Little hand wave, you good?
It's crazy.
Even the black man nod, cool.
Yeah.
I do the black man nod so much.
Come on, idea.
But I gauge it. I gauge it based on that face. Because I don't want some man to be like, why man nodding at me? I don't know him.
That's the thing. This is what I'm saying. Though I just do it, and I've noticed that the ones I think will never. I'm like, he ain't gonna do it, but now do it. And I'm like, you did it.
Cool.
You right?
Man's even the words are coming out as well.
Yeah.
You good, yeah?
No, I don't say that. I was like, you good, yeah? Like, what? I'm like, how you doing, right?
You good?
Yeah, just keep it moving. It's definitely like an interesting observation. And I think obviously different cultures do things differently. What I definitely would love to hear from our listeners is what things have you noticed culturally? You know, do you agree or disagree? Do you think London is the most vibrant place? Because I know some people say London is the most vibrant place to be, and the people are extremely friendly. And I think perception definitely does sort of play into that. You know, have you grown up in Italy, Germany, Australia? What kind of cultural norms are there, and how are people in terms of greeting and being friendly and talking to strangers? Because it is going to be different in all different areas. So I think that's definitely something we'd love to hear from you, lovely listeners. Where can everyone find us?
Well, everyone can find us, especially on our social media.
With a smiley
on Instagram,
face.
On the Twitter, on the Facebook. We've also got videos up on YouTube. Yeah. And if you want to get in contact with us with any topics or suggestions, or if you want to be a guest, hit us up on info@tagmein.co.uk. That's info@tagmeinpodcast.co.uk. Miss that part. But as always, guys, thank you for listening.
Yes.
And catch you guys next time.
See ya.